Welcome back to the Connected podcast. I'm thrilled to bring you an extraordinary collection in which some incredible students take the driver's seat and host dynamic conversations with professionals from across the higher education sector, discussing the vital topic of student belonging. We're back with Gem Standen today, who is joined by Aoife Prendergast, the Careers and Employability Manager at the Technological University of the Shannon in Ireland. Aoife describes her role as getting to look at the big picture to help students get ready for their careers. Aoife works with teams across the campuses to set the strategic direction for finding game-changing work placements to ensure they provide valuable learning experiences that set students up for success after graduation.
So in terms of the Careers and Employability Service at your institutions, could you tell us a bit more about that and how it supports the students that you have with you throughout their educational journey?
Yeah, sure. And I suppose it's a privilege really to share the heart and soul of the Careers and Employability Service at TUS. We are a service who are deeply rooted in the principles of relational pedagogy and have a real genuine and authentic care for each student's unique journey. So we see ourselves not just as your typical transactional service that helps students find placements and jobs, but as partners in their holistic development, and really trying to foster a sense of belonging and empowerment as students try and navigate their academic and professional lives. So really we kind of serve as a compass and a companion for students from the moment they step on our campus until long after they graduate. And we really strive to create a welcoming and inclusive space where students feel comfortable exploring their aspirations, also addressing their worries, their anxieties, and trying to build their confidence to shape their futures. So I suppose our service offers that one-to-one guidance, the interactive preparatory workshops for placement, accessible resources. We try to demystify the whole career development process and making it feel like less of a daunting task and more like a supported exploration of possibilities. And I suppose I'm really privileged to be working in the area of careers and employability, because what really gets me excited about this work with students is seeing that light bulb moment when a student discovers what they're really passionate about, or when they land a placement that perfectly aligns with their own goals. And it's incredibly rewarding to know that the work that we do can empower students to take control of their future, feel confident about stepping out as a professional in a professional world, in a world that's ever changing and that's hugely demanding. And for me, it's about unlocking their potential and making sure everyone has a fair shot at finding those opportunities and really kickstarting their career. And I genuinely believe that positive placement experiences in particular, and that feeling that students have of being employable, can transform their overall university experience and really their life trajectory.
Brilliant. That sounds amazing. I mean, ultimately, I know from my own undergraduate background, I waited far too late to really sort of access any career support, because I thought people were going to sort of ask me to choose a side,
Yeah.
and I wasn't ready to do that. So just, yeah, that readiness, preparing to sort of go into the world of work, and everything that you just described sounds absolutely phenomenal. So how does the service integrate with students' academic programs, particularly regarding work placements and career readiness? I do think you've answered this in part, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think integration with academic programs is paramount, and it's our starting point, really. We work closely with faculty across all disciplines to embed that career readiness into the curriculum. And it's not just about tacking on a CV workshop at the end of a person's degree program. It's really about helping students understand their inherent employability skills that they're developing throughout their academic studies and how to articulate that to potential employers. So I suppose for the example of work placement, which we're so embedded in, having work placement officers across the different campuses, we act as a vital bridge. So we collaborate with academic teams to try and identify those meaningful opportunities that align with the learning outcomes the students have to meet. And we really emphasise the relational aspect here, ensuring that placements are not just about completing tasks, but also just about fostering mentorship, providing those supportive learning environments, and about building connections with industry professionals, essentially.
Excellent. Oh, you're lucky students. That sounds really, really interesting. Um, again, I feel like you've partly answered this. You're very good at preempting my questions. What opportunity does your institution provide for students to gain real world experience through placements or internships?
Okay, so I suppose THUS is deeply committed to providing students with rich and meaningful real world experiences through placements and through internships. So we understand that these opportunities are transformative, and I suppose really because they offer space for students to apply their theoretical knowledge into practical settings. And in doing that, they're developing their own professional skills, and gaining, I suppose, insights into workplace cultures and the dynamics that happen in workplaces and how you develop relationships and how you deal with conflict. And we actively cultivate relationships with a diverse range of employers, we'll say from our local small to medium-sized enterprises to larger multinational corporations. So we try and ensure a variety of placement options across different sectors.
Excellent. And how do these placements, or what skills do they enhance and prepare them for the job market? And I'm going to coin this onto my next question as well. And do you have any success stories where students have significantly benefited from these types of experiences provided?
Yeah, like I suppose the placements are more than just stepping stones to a job. They're powerful catalysts for skill development. So students can hone their communication skills, teamwork, problem solving, and critical thinking abilities in real time. And I think it's really important that they do it in real time, often in environments where the stakes feel higher and the learning is more deeply contextualized. And I suppose that type of hands-on experience significantly enhances their preparation for the job market and providing them with tangible examples and I suppose a level of professional maturity that sets them apart. Like I recall one student who was incredibly talented on an academic level, but lacked confidence in her ability to, I suppose, implement things on a more practical level. So, through a placement in a design agency, she not only applied her design skills, but also found a very supportive mentor who nurtured that creativity and helped her build a professional network. And this experience wasn't just about adding a line to her CV. It fundamentally shifted her self-perception and gave her the belief that she could thrive in her chosen field. And as a result, she secured a graduate position with the same company. And she often speaks about how that placement was a turning point for her in her career journey, fostering that true sense of belonging within her professional community. And I've seen so many students who were initially unsure about their career path absolutely thrive during a placement. I suppose an example, like I remember one student who was studying marketing and felt a bit lost. They did a placement in a small digital agency and completely discovered a love for social media management. So it wasn't something that they fully considered beforehand, but that hands-on experience gave them clarity and confidence, and they landed a great job in that field right after graduation. So it's stories like that where the placement opens doors, and sparks a real sense of belonging in the profession. That's what really, I suppose, drives our service in THUS. And other examples maybe that I've come across in recent times would have been where how students might feel a bit disconnected sometimes from the university community with all of the demands that's placed on them, and they find it a difficulty or a struggle to find a sense of purpose or connection through employability initiatives like our mentoring programs. But pairing them with alumni who've been through similar transitions can provide invaluable support and a feeling of, well, I can do this too because someone like me has. I think that's really important.
I completely agree with you. Representation is really, really important in these types of things. I was first in family, lots of different demographic widening participation indicators. So when
Mm,
I graduated, kind of skulked into the next job, but actually was
mm,
really, really useful in terms of teaching me the skills that I felt that I was really good at, that I could then apply for more of those graduate roles. But yeah, if I'd have had a service available to me
mm.
like what you're offering, I perhaps wouldn't have had to wait
Mm,
that long.
mm.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about Employability Plus Award. Could you tell us a bit about that, please, and how it helps your students develop their employability skills?
Yeah, we've had, I suppose this is our third cycle of the Employability Plus Award in Tooth, and it's really a testament to our commitment to holistic student development that recognises that employability encompasses more than just academic achievements. So it really is a programme and a framework that's designed to encourage students to actively engage in activities and experiences that cultivate those key employability skills. So things like leadership, teamwork, communication, initiative, problem solving, and the types of, I suppose, activities and achievements that are recognised through the award. Students can gain recognition from a wide range of achievements, from volunteering to participation in our employability events and our careers fairs, attending workshops with our careers officer, and developing digital skills. But it's really about acknowledging the, I suppose, the plus factors that make our graduates well-rounded and highly sought after. So we really focus on the Employability Plus Award on reflection and encouraging students to reflect on the experiences that they've had, but also to get them to articulate the skills that they've developed and understand their own value in the professional arena.
Fantastic. It sounds phenomenal. What kind of activities or achievements are recognised through this award?
And I suppose the activities that are recognised, really the response from students has been overwhelmingly positive in terms of their access to careers fairs, workshops, employability events. They really appreciate that the award recognises their broader contributions and helps them to articulate their skills in a language that resonates with employers. And we've seen that tangible impact on their career development. So for students who engage in it, they often report increased confidence at interviews, a crystal clear understanding of their strengths, and also a greater ability to connect their extracurricular activities, things that they do outside of the university environment, how they connect them better to their career aspirations. And in terms of their response to it and the impact that it's had, like it has really fostered a sense of pride in their overall development, and it does reinforce their sense of belonging within a university that values their diverse contributions.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Um, Again, I feel like you've answered this in part. So how have your students responded to the program overall? Obviously, it sounds like you've had a really positive influence on the students who've been involved. What impact has it had on their career development?
Like I really feel with the impact on their development, I'm a firm believer in the power of student partnerships, and I really believe the Employability Plus Award is a real core, authentic example of student partnerships. So they're not just recipients of the service or of the program itself, that they're active collaborators in shaping it. So I think the impact is in terms of the students' own insights, their experiences, their feedback. It really truly meets their own unique needs so that you get out of it what you put in. Um, and I suppose that leads to more effective outcomes, and it fosters that stronger sense of belonging for students. And I feel that when students feel that their voices are heard and their perspectives are valued, they become more invested in their own development and the success of not just themselves, but also their peers as well. So I think the impact is that it's truly student centered and it's responsive to the evolving needs and aspirations of our students.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So how does TUS collaborate with local and regional employers to create opportunities for students?
So I suppose our collaboration with employers is built on that shared commitment to developing future talent. And there's a genuine partnership approach and collaboration that's involved there. So we really actively engage our local and our regional businesses. We attempt as best as we can to understand their evolving needs and work to create opportunities that benefit both our students and obviously that of the local economy and the region. And that requires, I suppose, a lot of regular communication, industry specific events, and a focus on building long term relationships based on a mutual benefit. So we engage in lots of events throughout the academic year. Events like our autumn careers fair plays a crucial role in directly connecting students with potential employers. And they aren't just about handing out a CV. They're opportunities for conversations with employers, networking, and for students to gain insights into the different industries and company cultures. So we prepare students for these events in advance, equipping them with the skills and the confidence that they need to make those impactful connections. And I suppose a key aspect of our collaboration with our local and regional employers as well is feedback. So employer feedback is invaluable in shaping any employability initiatives that we have. So we actively seek input from our employers on the skills and the qualities that they're seeking in terms of graduates, and we do that on an annual basis. So we have to be agile and we have to respond to what's going on in industry. And that feedback loop ensures that our programs remain relevant and responsive to the changing demands of the workforce. And ultimately that enhances our students' preparedness for future professional roles. So I think it's something that we do on an automatic level, but it's really, really valuable for everybody.
It sounds brilliant, honestly. This sounds like a very holistically thought out, really intrinsically helpful program for your students. And to follow on from that, really, relating to your careers and employability service, you've mentioned there obviously about sort of catering to all students. I wondered specifically if there's anything you would like to comment on in relation to the diverse backgrounds and the needs of your students.
Yeah, and I suppose as a whole, our Careers and Employability Service is really deeply committed to ensuring that we are inclusive and we cater to diverse backgrounds and the needs of all students. But also everybody in TUS shares that same commitment. So we're all quite aligned in terms of that purpose. But we do recognise that the journey to securing a work placement or securing employment can present unique challenges for different individuals. So we do strive to provide more one-to-one support and more tailored support that addresses the specific needs with care, with understanding and with compassion as well. So it's not one size fits all. We do things on a kind of a kind of one-to-one basis. I say, for example, even with our international students, there's a whole piece there around navigating the Irish job market and understanding visa requirements. We provide support and we connect the students with resources and networks in that overall transition as well. And also for students that might face additional challenges, maybe due to disability or maybe socioeconomic background, we do reach out and provide personalised guidance and try to, I suppose, support those students in accessing the relevant resources and networks that they need. But I suppose just to kind of sum up in terms of the of catering to individuals with diverse backgrounds, like our approach is really rooted in emphasizing that appreciation and empathy for individuals. Um, we have that commitment to being very welcoming and trying to create a fair and equitable environment. So we try to work to not, I suppose, to remove all the barriers, but to try and dismantle them as best as we can so that every student can feel seen, they can feel heard and supported in their career development. And going back to what I said originally at the start about that fosters a real strong sense of belonging if you do that. So we put a lot of effort, everybody on the team, our work placement officers, our career officers, our administrators, to doing that and trying to foster that strong sense of belonging.
Brilliant. It really is sort of a whole institution approach to your service, which sounds absolutely phenomenal. So in terms of looking ahead, what are your future plans for enhancing employability support at TUS?
Okay. So our future plans, if I had a crystal ball, I'd love to be able to preempt some of the challenges that we'll be facing in another few years. But I suppose we're always trying to remain flexible and agile. But our future plans at the moment are trying to enhance the employability support at TUS, in terms of I suppose driving a commitment towards continuous improvement and innovation. So we are exploring greater integration in terms of the digital tools and resources that we offer to students. We're looking to expand our partnerships with employers to try and create those more diverse and impactful placement and graduate opportunities. And I suppose really we envisage that the Careers and Employability Service will evolve into, I suppose, a more proactive and embedded part of the student journey. So anticipating their needs earlier on, providing that timely and relevant support at every stage, try to foster the culture of lifelong learning, that agility, that flexibility. So equipping our students and our graduates with not just for their first jobs, but for a really successful and fulfilling career trajectory across a rapidly changing world. And if I was to give advice to a student who's just starting out thinking about careers and employability, I'd say don't leave it till your fourth year, or don't leave it. Don't wait until the semester before you go on placement to start exploring your options. Think about it early on, engage with us early, attend any workshops that you see, connect with our service, talk to employers, but most importantly, reflect on your own interests, your skills, your values. What do you bring? Because a student's journey to employability or to their career is a personal one. And it's okay if it's not linear or doesn't fit the mold. Be open to new experiences, build up those relationships, and remember that ourselves in THUS and Careers and Employability, we're here to help students in every step of the way. And really, that sense of belonging within the THUS community is intrinsically linked to a student's confidence in their future, and we're dedicated to nurturing both.
Amazing. And what fantastic advice. Absolutely fantastic advice there. Thank you very much. Before we close today's podcast, I wondered if there was anything else that you wanted to add that you haven't had the opportunity to through the questions being asked.
It was great to go through all of that, and I hope I've been able to outline what we offer and what we're trying to achieve here in THUS. But I suppose just one thing to mention is student partnerships and how really important they are, because I think the idea of students as partners isn't just a nice phrase. It's absolutely crucial to how we do things. Students are going through all types of experiences, so we rely so much on their feedback, their insights, and their perspectives, and that's really kind of the gold standard. In everything that we try and achieve, we try to seek student input. And for workshops that we deliver on an ongoing basis, we're always seeing how we can change them or how we can improve our processes. And say, for example, student feedback has directly led to changes in terms of how we prepare students for placements and for interviews, and how we communicate our placement opportunities. So by working with students, we can create services that are really impactful, and that are relevant, and that fosters that sense of ownership within the university. So at the same time, I really think it's important that we view students as partners, because they help us stay grounded and ensure that we are addressing the real needs that they face on a kind of a day-to-day basis. And I suppose my final comment would be, I've really seen firsthand the transformative power of a well-structured placement, and the rewards that students get from those meaningful opportunities really make them feel seen and feel valued. So I'm a firm believer in the power of student partnerships. And yeah, that's it.
Brilliant. And it's really useful to any listeners here who are perhaps working within a university environment themselves, and even for students to know that actually their voice matters, it's heard, it's considered, and it's considered across a range of different academic services as well as on academic programs as well. So really, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your expertise, your input, and yeah, we look forward to hearing more about your program in future, I'm sure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Gemma.
Thank you for listening to the Connected podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please check out the rest of our extraordinary Voices of Belonging collection and stay connected.